Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al. I've got a Monday Night Football single game showdown slate for you between New Orleans, the Saints, and the Las Vegas Raiders, playing, as you can see, in the lovely brand new Roomba that they've built right off the strip in Las Vegas. If you haven't seen it, trust me, it looks like a goddamn Roomba. Well, that's where they're going to be playing their home games this year, so that's what we're going to be doing. So we got New Orleans playing without Mike Thomas, even though Jay Glazer has reported that he is going to be recovering faster than they had expected. I'm still expecting him to be out for the Monday night contest. If they do push him into this game, obviously we'll have to adjust from the time that I'm recording this video. Also, Henry Ruggs did practice in the final practice on Saturday, which is essentially like the Friday practice that we're most concerned about. If players don't practice on Friday, they usually don't play on Sunday. Same goes for Monday night games. If they don't practice on Saturday, they probably don't play on Monday. He was able to participate in a limited way on Saturday's practice, so we'll see if Ruggs is in. That's something that you're going to have to look out for 90 minutes before lock, as that's when inactives come out. We'll know if he's active, we'll know if he's not, and if he's active, you're going to have to make a decision. Is he a decoy, or is he going to be there running as quickly and running all the routes that we saw him run? And I thought he was being used in a very encouraging way in week 1 for the Raiders. So thank you guys for being here. If you would do me a favor, drop a like on the video, reply, do something, click something, subscribe to the channel, ring the notifications bell, all that sort of stuff. It all helps the channel. Obviously, you can find links to all my socials by expanding the description by clicking show more, as well as some discounts to some really great sites that can help you out. All that stuff helps the channel. You want to help, I appreciate you. Let's get to the video. Right on top, we got Alvin Kamara. He's the first guy we got to talk about, especially with Thomas out. His usage in the passing game is always going to be secure, but they're going to have to find ways to get the ball into their best playmaker's hands. And right now, with Thomas out, he is clearly their best playmaker. He's never going to carry the ball 20 times. I'm not expecting that. This 12 to 15 carry range is about where he sits on most weeks. I'm more than expecting him to have 7 to 10 targets against this Raiders defense, which is not a very talented unit. No disrespect to any of the players that play for Oakland, but honestly, it's not really a highly regarded unit on the defensive side of the ball, and the Saints should be able to pick things apart. Now, obviously, with Drew Brees, we have the long-standing narrative with Drew Brees that he is way better at home than he is on the road, and it's not just a narrative. It's backed up by a lot of different stats. He's fine on the road. He's like, it's almost like he's Clark Kent on the road and Superman at home. Put it that way, right? So, like, Clark Kent's still a pretty good dude, but he ain't Superman. So you'd rather play Superman in Superman environment. This is obviously an indoor game. This is obviously a situation where it's an island game, and we're not going to fade Drew Brees because we don't have 15 other quarterbacks to choose from. So we're going to have our shares of Drew Brees at captain. As always, I want to limit my quarterbacks that end up in the captain spot unless they're quarterbacks that can run the ball. And Drew Brees not really a rushing quarterback. Neither is Derek Carr. So we know that of all quarterbacks included, they win about 12 to 15% of the showdowns. If you have watched the How to Win on Single Game Showdown video that I have in the How to Win playlist here on this channel, you know what all those breakdowns and all those numbers are by position. We like to focus on running backs and wide receivers and sometimes tight ends in the captain spot because their ceilings are much higher than every quarterback. Obviously, guys like Lamar Jackson, we saw Dak Prescott rush for 3 touchdowns this weekend. Guys that bring that to the table, I'm more likely to expand my usage of those guys in single game showdown slates in captain. But somebody like Drew Brees, somebody like Derek Carr, I'm probably going to limit to like 7 or 8%. As we build our groups around them, I'm going to put Drew Brees, I'm going to build 2 groups. Drew Brees with every single one of his pass catchers. That is going to include Alvin Kamara for me. So I'm going to build this rule that if Drew Brees is captain, I need at least 2 of Alvin Kamara, not going to include Thomas, obviously, because I'm not expecting him to play. So I'm recording this video under the premise that Michael Thomas does not play in this game. That means that Emmanuel Sanders is going to take a big leap forward in terms of his usage. Only 5 targets in week 1. He is the primary receiver. He is stepping into that Michael Thomas role, though he is not going to do Michael Thomas things. Obviously, late in his career, long in the tooth, all those sorts of things. But Emmanuel Sanders can still play and has an extremely accurate quarterback throwing him the ball. So he can post numbers here, and for only 8,800 in the flex, certainly viable. Obviously, Jared Cook, Traquan Smith is priced a little bit higher than I would like for him to be, but due to the injury to Michael Thomas, I understand his pricing. Still more of a boomer or bust play as far as I'm concerned, and I'm willing to be wrong on that. But in single game showdown, I want to incorporate every single one of those sorts of guys. Looking a little bit lower in the salaries. Obviously, I'm not going to include a kicker and a quarterback. You can, I suppose, like if I have a quarterback as my captain, I can also have his kicker, because if they score 34, 38 points, the kicker is going to do work also. I just happen to let it fall where it lays. If the quarterback happens to have a kicker, great, but I'm not going to force it. I'm going to force his pass catchers into those groups. I am going to put Taysom Hill into this group because I think that he is going to catch a couple of balls from Drew Brees, and he's priced at a point where he really doesn't have to do much. I understand that he's going to take some quarterback snaps away from Brees, but there's also going to be plays where he's going to be a receiver too, and I think more so this week than other weeks due to the missing Michael Thomas. They do love to use him as a gadget player. Super value play also, Josh Hill, if you want to think that they're going to go 2 tight end, which I think they'll do a little bit more. They're going to have to get more creative, are the Saints, with the offense without MT out there. I'm also going to build a bring back group. If you don't understand what a bring back group is, I know we have a lot of new people that have joined the channel, that have found the channel recently. A bring back group means I'm not just going to stack a quarterback with players on his team. I'm also going to utilize players on the opposing team in case the game shoots out, much like we saw with Atlanta and Dallas on Sunday. Now we have the opportunity to capture all of the upside. So I'm now going to focus on building a bring back group with essentially every player. I'm going to include Josh Jacobs in that. Josh Jacobs saw a ridiculous amount of usage and 6 targets in week 1. I typically won't include him in a Derek Carr group. We'll get to that in a minute, but I will include him in a group with Drew Brees. I will also include Derek Carr in that group with Drew Brees. Both quarterbacks can certainly pay off with, I'm not usually going to use them in captain all that much. We've spoken about that, but it's possible to have both quarterbacks in a group because their high median expectation shows you that they're going to have enough points to help you win. So I will have this group with Drew Brees that includes at least one of essentially every single viable player out in the field, including Edwards, possibly Aguilar, Richard, who should catch some balls at 1,400. If you want to go super cheap, there's Booker and Richard as well, 1,800 and 1,400 in that Drew Brees group, including at least one, but no more than that. If it puts 2 or 3, great. If it only puts 1, fine. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side of it as we build our Derek Carr group. As I said, I'm not going to use Josh Jacobs in that. I'm really encouraged by the fact that he got 6 targets in week 1, but that was against Carolina, who I think is going to be a team that we're going to be streaming running backs against all year long. I'm still in show it to me mode with the targets that he got here in week 1. I think that he's going to be more utilized in the passing game in his second year. But 6 targets may be the most he sees all year. If he gets 4 targets a game on average, that would be great, as last year he was getting 1 and 2 a game, sometimes 3. So if he lives at about 4 targets a game, that would be fantastic with the amount of usage that Josh Jacobs is going to get on the ground. So I'm not going to include him in the Derek Carr at captain group. Let me make sure I'm actually using Derek Carr in the captain spot. I will be including Darren Waller, as I expect him to be at or above 25% of the target market share for the Raiders. 7,800, in my opinion, is just too cheap on a showdown slate. We're going to put him in that group. We're going to include at least 2 of all of his pass catchers. If Ruggs is going to play, as I said, Ruggs looked real good. Obviously, an absolutely freakish athlete, an outstanding football player, but talent doesn't always mean fantasy points. The way you're utilized, the amount of usage that you get, the opportunities and situations that your coaching staff puts you into. If you looked at that next gen tweet that I retweeted, I believe last week, I showed it on stream last week for sure, about the ways that Henry Ruggs was targeted last weekend in week 1. You know how diverse a route tree he was running. Them getting him the ball on swing passes. They were getting the ball on screens. They were targeting him downfield on fades. They were having him run these deep drags and getting him the ball in space in a lot of different places where he can win. If he's healthy and ready to go, and again, we'll know 90 minutes before lock if that is going to be the case. This kid is explosive. Absolutely love the talent, and I'm buying. Hunter Renfrow, sorry. Henry Renfrow. Who the hell is Henry Renfrow? Hunter Renfrow, You guys know I'm not a huge fan of this dude, but single game showdown. I have nothing against the guy. Obviously, he's a talented player. He can play in the NFL, but like, he's a catch and fall guy. He's not going to break many big plays for you. He is good at getting receptions, which against this Saints defense, who can very possibly take away one of the outside players with Lattimore, as we saw with Mike Evans in week 1. The Saints D is pretty talented, though they are leaky in giving up points because most teams have to chase and just throw the ball all over the place. Hunter Renfrow could get you 5-6 catches on Monday night in this showdown at 5,800. I'm fine with that. Obviously, I'm going to pair him with Derek Carr and use at least 2 of them. Edwards, the rookie, Aguilar, if you want to pile him in there, and I would use one of Booker or Richard. I'm going to put both of them in there, right, into this Derek Carr group, but I'm also going to make a separate rule that in any lineup, only one of Booker or Richard can be used in that lineup. So it's totally fine to set different groups to limit exposure to players in the same lineup. Last week, we talked about this on Monday night, the tournament that I shared first with like 250 different players. I don't think I articulated what I was trying to say as properly as I wanted to articulate it, so let me redo that here. This is obviously a different situation than Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. I don't want 2 players like that involved in the same lineup in the flex. So I'm going to make sure that I'm going to make a rule that if I'm playing in the flex, I'm going to put both of them in here in flex in a rule, and I'm going to make sure that I only have one of them in any lineup where they're in the flex. If I build groups with Richard or Booker at captain, I might make a rule that if one of them is the captain, that the other one cannot be in the lineup at all. I will allow Josh Jacobs to be in the lineup with either one of those if they are going to take up a captain spot for me, but I'm probably not going to use both of them because I don't think that it's very likely that both of them have enough of a score for me to win with both of them in the same lineup. You just don't need that much salary. As you can see, if both of them are in the flex, 11-7 remaining per player. So it's just unnecessary to get both of them in one lineup. So I'm going to force it to not allow that to happen. The next groups that we're going to build, anytime that we have a prime pass catcher in the captain spot. And as I said, Darren Waller is somebody who's going to get a ton of the looks from Derek Carr. I'm going to make a rule that makes sure that any lineup where Darren Waller is my captain, Derek Carr is going to be the quarterback in that group. We're going to do this with every single one of the pass catchers that we want to use for both teams, including Renfrow, including Edwards, including whoever you believe is going to catch passes and is going to take up a captain spot. You want to be sure that in those lineups, Derek Carr also is going to be involved in those lineups. It's a very simple rule. We'll do the same thing on the other side. If I have Alvin Kamara as captain, I said if I have Alvin Kamara as captain, then I'm going to make sure that in every one of those groups, I have Drew Brees also in that lineup. And the same thing goes for anybody that's on this team as a pass catcher that I'm going to be playing. If I am going to have lineups that will have, let's see, not Washington, but if I have like Murray, if you think that Latavius Murray at 3,400 has an opportunity at captain to pay off, and it's possible that he will, as they could very reasonably play both Murray and Kamara in lineups this week, have them on the field at the same time, split Kamara out wide, or utilize motion to get him out into the route while Latavius stays there in the backfield. The Saints not afraid to get gadgety. I would not be shocked if they put something in, especially having a full week to plan for that. I am not going to make sure that Drew Brees, I won't build a group for him as captain. So basically that goes for every single receiver on this team. Sanders in captain, make sure you have Brees in there. Cook at captain, make sure you have Brees in there. Very easy to build groups in either of the lineup builders that we suggest here on this channel. The rotogrinders lineup builder, their lineup HQ, or the daily roto lineup builder. Any lineup builder that you use, if you like it, use it. It's a tool, and it should be viewed as such. No lineup builder is going to make you a winning player or a profitable player, but they are a tool to help you reach that level of profitability. Whichever one you're used to, if you use one that isn't those two, I'm not telling you that those are 100% better than the one you're using. I'm telling you these are ones that I'm comfortable with, as I've toyed with most of the lineup builders that are out there in the daily fantasy space. If you want to check them out, again, in the description down below, there are links for both of them. Be sure to go check them out. Obviously, I think Daily Roto has a monthly plan. And rotogrinders has a 5-day plan that you can check out. rotogrinders.com/smizzlife if you want to go check that one out. A 5-day plan, a monthly plan, or a yearly plan. Get in where you fit in, or if you don't at all, that's fine too. Thank you guys for joining. I wish you the best on Monday Night Showdown. And until that next video, I'll catch you later. Bye.
He's a legend.